Here is a sneak peek of today's project. So today I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a never-ending infinity card, and I'm also going to show you how to decorate this card. I recommend watching this video all the way through the end so that before you start creating yours, so that you'll get all your cuts correct, and so I'll help you with that. So for today's card, I'm going to be using the Crafty Crew kit from Crafty Stamp Co, and this is the November kit. It'll start shipping in November, but in order to receive this kit, you'll need to order by October 15th. So I felt like all of the stamps in this set worked perfect for a never-ending card for the way I wanted to decorate it. So I'm going to be using pieces from both stamp sets today, as well as the paper and the stencils from the kit. So everything I'm using on today's card will be from this kit. So let's go ahead and get started on the card. So you need to start out with two 6x6 pieces of paper, and it needs to be cardstock. So I am using gray cardstock for this. I felt like this would go good with the papers and the stamping that I'm going to do today. So we're going to score both of these sheets, and so I'm just putting in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score at 1.5, and then I'm going to score again at 4.5. And then we're going to get our other 6x6 piece of paper, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to score at 1.5, and then again at 4.5. So we're going to do 1.5 and 4.5 for our score marks. So now we want to trim this paper down. I think it's easier to just score it so that everything lines up and then cut it. So now we're going to cut this piece in half at 3 inches. But you want to put your paper in your paper trimmer so that the score lines are going from left to right. And we're going to do the same thing with the next piece. We're going to add it to our paper trimmer, but you want to make sure, look at your score lines, make sure that they're going from side to side or left to right, and make sure that you're putting your paper trimmer that way so that we're cutting through the lines. So we're going to cut at 3 inches again, and we'll have 4 pieces that look exactly the same. I'm going to bring out my scoreboard again just to help me, line my paper up. If you have another way to line your paper up, then that's fine as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this in my paper trimmer with the score lines going from top to bottom now. But I'm going to use double-sided tape to glue my card base together today. You could use liquid glue, just be careful with how much glue you do add. So for this one, I'm just going to add 2 pieces of my 1/4 inch double-sided tape so that I'm starting at the top and coming down about 1/2 inch. So if you have wider double-sided tape, then you can just use, your 1 piece. But be sure not to touch those score lines. So you can see I'm not touching the score lines with the tape. I'm leaving a little gap there so that my score lines don't have any glue or tape on them. So I'm going to do this on both sides of my paper, both sides inside those score lines. And then I'm going to bring in the bottom piece, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to add tape to the bottom piece as well at the same amount, and so I'm going to do 1/2 inch from the bottom of this paper. Once again, my score lines are running from top to bottom. Once I have that tape on, I am going to bring in my scoring tool and just score it really good. You just want to press down on your tape really good so that it gets a good grip onto your cardstock. And so when you pull off that paper, you don't have the tape coming up as well. So I'm just going to press on all of those pieces really good. So now I'm just going to pull off my white paper off of my adhesive, only on one side though. I just want to do one side at a time. I want to take my time with this so that everything's lined up. This is one of those projects where everything needs to be straight to work. So now I'm going to bring in my other piece, and it's going to have the score lines going from side to side. So it's going to be opposite of the one that's in our scoreboard. You can see the one in the scoreboard is going to be totally opposite of it. And so then we're going to attach this one in the upper corner there. So I want to make sure I line them all both up in the corner so that everything is straight. And then I'll do the other side as well. So I'm just going to bring in the other piece. Once again, the score lines are going from side to side. And I'm just going to attach that at the top there. And I'm just kind of buttoning that up against the other piece of paper, making sure I line my top edges up. So you can see here, we have the 2 pieces on the front there, and now we have only 1 piece on the back here. So now it's time to add this piece. So what I want to do is I'm just going to remove the white paper from it as well. And I'm going to put it in the upper corner just like I did for the first part that we taped. I think that by doing that, it really helps me to line it up. Most of the time I'm okay with wonky, you know, that's fine. But for this project, your paper won't fold right if everything isn't lined up. It's not that hard to do. I just, you know, I feel like the scoreboard helps me line everything up. So I'm just going to take this piece and flip it over so that these two pieces that we just glued on are at the top now. And now we have two pieces on the back and two pieces on the front. But on the back and front, the score lines are running different directions. Now, I should not have pressed my tape down onto the scoreboard, so I'm having to smooth out the paper there because it left a little bit of a ripple, but we're going to cover that up anyway, but I just want to fix that. Okay, so now we're going to open our card up, and we're going to fold on our score lines. We're not adding any extra fold lines in, so just be really careful. You can see here as you open it, you can see your score lines. We just want to fold on those and press down. We just want to get them really smooth. We want to get it where this card, you know, we can open it and open it, keep opening it, and there's nothing, no resistance. So then we're going to just open again, and you can see there we've already scored, folded on those score lines. So now I want to open it again, and we have these that need to be pressed down. And I'm just going to keep working through my card, opening the flaps, and pressing on the score lines until everything is nice and smooth and the card just folds, just keeps opening without any resistance. And I'm just going to work through it. It only takes just, a minute to do that, just to work through them and just get everything pressed out. And if you open it again, you see that you have a line that's kind of not smooth, then just once again press it. So now we're ready to start decorating. So I've gone ahead and prepared a lot of the pieces, and I've also prepared a cut sheet for you on my Ko-Fi. So I'll put that in my description. It'll ask you for payment, but just put in $0. It's absolutely free to download so you can create this card. But I want to walk you through the decorating because there is a lot of different pieces for it. So these 4 pieces for this front piece, they need to be so that the 2 and the 3/4 inch side, when you cut that, the top of your paper is in your paper trimmer so that these images are landscape. Now the rest of them are going to be vertical up and down, but I wanted to point that out so that you knew when you were cutting your paper. Now these pieces that I'm adding, I created, they're 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I started out with a piece of white paper and I stamped them with my image from the stamp set, and I colored those in with alcohol markers. But for the leaves in the background or any images in the background that I stamped, I just used orange, a dark orange and a light orange ink so that I didn't have to color all those leaves in. I thought that looked good and it made less coloring that I had to do. So I went ahead and done that. Then I went ahead and inked the edges with the dark orange, and then I'm bringing in the stencil. And I'm not stenciling over the whole entire 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square. What I'm doing is I am just inking around the edge to make a frame. So I'm making sure when I ink around those edges there to frame out the images that I am not getting any of the stencil on those little marshmallow people. Now it's okay if I get them on the leaves or if I get them on the wording, but I don't want to get it on any of my little, I said people, but marshmallow characters. I don't want any of the stencil on them. So here is the front of our card. So we're going to open it up. So for the next, I want to say page, but I don't know, next part of the card, we're going to add 2 more 2 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch squares. And so I'm just trying to figure out which ones I want to use on this. And I just kind of created some with the little marshmallow images and then some with wording. And then for this page, we want to add 4 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 pieces of our decorative paper. So now this is what I was talking about. When you cut your 1 1/4 by 2 3/4, you're going to have 4 that are more landscape. The rest of those in that cut sheet, you need to cut vertical where the top of your paper is in your paper trimmer when you cut the 1 1/4 inch side. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, maybe just looking at mine will help you figure that out as well. And then we're just what I'm doing is I'm just centering everything up. When I glue it, I just center it up in the scored, squares that it has. So then we're going to open it up the next way. And so this one's like a cross shape. So for this one, once again, you're going to need 4 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch pieces. And you can see that we've already glued down 2 of the pieces because they actually work for the part of the card before this one. And so then once again, and so I do want to say I went a little quick with this video, but in the last page, I had the 2 pieces that I stamped. Be sure those are vertical as well because I created them landscape and then I realized that's not going to fit the card. So just pay attention to the direction that you're cutting all your paper, and you shouldn't have any issues because you can watch my video. You can also look at this flip through and it should help you figure out the orientation that you need to cut all of your paper. Once again, the cut sheet is in my description. Just put in $0 so that it's absolutely free. And this is our completed card. I think these are so much fun. The recipient has so much fun just flipping through them because they keep going and going. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed seeing me create today's card. If you're interested in the kit that I used, I'll leave a link in my description. That is my affiliate link. And I really appreciate you using my affiliate links. It helps out my channel. And this kit is available till October 15th. After that, it's no longer available, but it will begin shipping in November. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.